राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 श्री गुरवे नमः। भगवत Charanaravindha Makaranda Milinda Mahanabhavaha. In this episode of Chintana, we will take a new topic. What topic?
Reconstitution of the self.
Okay. So, this is the first step. When we start sadhana, we should reconstitute ourselves as the Atma. So, we are going to have a discussion on this. So, explain to the audience what is reconstitution of self.
Reconstitution of the self means that by my intelligence I try to understand that I am different from the body. And in Bhagavad Gita, this is first lesson where Krishna is teaching to Arjuna Buddhi Yoga. This is called Buddhi Yoga, or the Yoga of intelligence, where we come to know that we are a separate entity from this material body, and if we want to taste spiritual love, which is topic of the Atma, we have to reconstitute ourselves from the entity of body into the Atma, because only Atma can relish spirit.
Mm. Only Atma can relish prema.
Prema.
Because the nature of consciousness is love. Okay. In which context did Sri Krishna speak to Arjuna about Buddhi Yoga?
By nature, Arjuna was Kshatriya. So, in the context of this role of playing the role of a Kshatriya or warrior, in that context he spoke to him the Buddhi Yoga.
So, what happened to Arjuna?
Arjuna, of course, is representing the ordinary embodied living entity which identifies himself with the body, and body is producing material desires and has 6 qualities which start from Kama, Lobha, Krodha, Mada, Moha and Matsarya. So in the execution of our role, these 6 qualities become impediment on our role. So this happened to Arjuna. By nature he is a Kshatriya, and then because of his attachment to the body and attachment to the relatives in the front of him as his friends, he couldn't execute his role, he couldn't play his role of a Kshatriya, and he admitted to Krishna, Krishna, I will not fight, I have no power to do that. So he lost his free will, power of free will.
So what you are saying is that Arjuna is supposed to play his role of a Kshatriya. He is not able to play that role because he is acting as if he is identifying himself with the body. And so when we identify ourselves with the body, what happens immediately? That we have 5 senses, and in Prakriti we have 5 sense objects about which we discussed earlier. So the mind produces desires, Kama, for sense gratification. And you spoke about the 6 negative qualities which come when we identify ourselves with the body: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsarya. So can you explain how? Now we understand that when we identify with the body, we develop Kama. That much we understand. And how these other qualities develop, can you explain?
You see, when I identify myself with the body, my mind becomes a mechanism for or desire producing mechanism, and I start, because I see the objects, my eyes see the beautiful form, my ears hear the beautiful sounds, my nose smells beautiful smells, and all other senses are outwardly looking in the sense objects. So I start developing desires because I identify myself with the body. And body is coming from Prakriti, naturally is attracted to Prakriti. So I start developing desires, and once desire is produced, I have to fulfill it. There is no way, because if I do not fulfill the desire, I will suppress it. And this suppression of desire creates Krodha.
Yeah.
So
Anger.
Anger.
If desire is not fulfilled, then you are frustrated and it develops
Anger.
You want to give some example?
For example, many times when we see the example with the children, when they are outside in the mall, or they see so many sense objects, especially when it's summertime, they see many ice creams and many sense objects, they are just coming to them. And there of course, as I said before, desire is produced, you have to fulfill it. You're just drawn to it. And then he starts pulling the mommy, please, I want ice cream. And of course, mommy is aware of the health of the child, and this is, he was taking yesterday 3-4 times, so today you will not take it. So what happened, when desire is not fulfilled, anger comes out, and the child starts to scream and rolling on the floor. And this is what is outcome when we have desire and something comes between our desire and the object, we become angry.
Okay. Next, what happens if the desire is fulfilled? Let us say the mother, because he is becoming very stubborn, she gives him and buys him an ice cream. So what happens? Is his desire fulfilled? Is he satisfied with that?
Once desire is fulfilled, story is not finished there, because fulfillment of the desire creates the lobha, which means once I taste the sense
greed. Say it in English also.
Once I taste the pleasure of sense object, immediately comes out, I want more. What is the next? And then when we have to fulfill that second desires, and then this is what.
So from kama comes krodha if it is not fulfilled. If it is fulfilled, we get lobha. Okay, then what about moha? How do we develop moha?
There is also example.
Give an example and then explain.
For example, I remember my daughter was with a friend. We were going in some shop, and she saw one beautiful the chariot with the horses, and it was very costly. So she saw that object, and this my friend, because he is my friend, he couldn't reject it. It was so she wanted this, and she bought to her that chariot with the horses. And when she got this, now she possessed this and become very, very attached to it. And when elder daughter comes and wants to touch it, she become immediately protective and angry. Don't touch, this is my thing. This belongs to me, don't touch it.
Okay, so that is moha. She developed moha for that object. She developed attachment for that object. And what about mada?
Mada, it's, for example, when the friends of my daughter come and they see this beautiful chariot with horses, and they don't have it. But my daughter has that. She become extremely proud. Oh, I have this, but they don't have. I'm better
Something
than them.
special, okay.
And this.
So that is called as mada. That when you possess sense objects which give you sense pleasure, then you develop a kind of pride.
Excessive pride.
Excessive pride. And this is also related to kama. If you have kama, and when you accumulate things which are related to that fulfillment of kama, you become very proud. Right? I have a beautiful car, I have a beautiful wife, I have a beautiful house, and I have so much of bank balance. So you develop a kind of mada, ego, pride. Right? And the other person who
was coming to visit my daughter, because she couldn't have that same object, she felt envy. Oh, I cannot have this. Why she have it and I cannot have it?
So this is Matsarya. So the other girl, the friend who is not so rich, who could not afford this, she developed Matsarya for this person, for your daughter. So what you are saying is that when we identify ourselves with the body, automatically these 6 negative qualities develop: kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So what happens if we have these 6 qualities? Then what happens to role playing?
These 6 qualities are coming between us and our role and make us to deviate from that role and make us impotent to actually execute our role. And this we can see in practical life, in the examples of partners who become successful in their job and they develop pride and they allow themselves to have another relation with another person, and it creates conflict in the family, and consequently relationship is broken. Another example is people which are in the influential positions. They are misusing due to the lobha or greed to accumulate more, and this is opportunity maybe I will not get in any other.
So they become corrupt, and they do not play the role of serving others. So they get corrupt and use their role to accumulate wealth, right? So all these 6 qualities come in between playing your role. And that is why Arjuna, who was identifying himself with the body, developed this attachment for his bodily relationships and was not able to play the role. So in that context, Sri Krishna taught him Buddhi Yoga. So he started the whole discourse on the difference between body, Dehino Sminetha Dehe Kaumaram Yavvananjara Avinashitu Tadvidhi. So, and then asking Arjuna to identify himself as the Atma. All this problem is coming because of the identification with the body. So that is the context. So now, how that is connected to Bhakti, when we take up the role in Bhakti, what is the role that we are taking up? When we take the shelter of a Rasik Guru?
When we take a shelter in the Rasik Guru, we got new identity. First, Guru give us the Tattva Gyan, which means the knowledge about relationship, which is called Sambandha Gyan.
Yeah.
Knowledge about relationship, who we are in relation to him.
Sri Krishna.
To Sri Krishna.
Okay.
And
so what is this relationship between Sri Krishna and me?
Relationship of servant and master.
Yes.
Or
first is he is Amshi and I am Amsha. He is Vibhu Chaitanya and I am Anu Chaitanya and I am his part. Because I am his part, automatically he is my master and I am his servant. He is my beloved and I am the lover. This you get. And you, as his part, like his Nitya Parikarat, you should be a Parikara in the spiritual world. So that is also an identity you get when you go to a Guru. that you are a parikara. You should prepare a role for being a parikara in the spiritual world. So you get this identity. Right. Similarly, in the case of Bhagavad Gita, we will not be able to play this role unless we reconstitute. So that's what you are saying. And also, because it is the nature of consciousness, prema is the nature of consciousness, and we are trying to cultivate love, we have to identify with ourselves as Atma, Dasa and Parikara. Okay then. So now, what happens if we don't identify with Atma and then practice Bhakti by still identifying ourselves with the body? What happens?
You see, when we identify ourselves with the Atma, our spiritual practice becomes dissolving mechanism, which means our material identity, our material vasanas, samskaras, they slowly become dissolving, and our spiritual identity is growing up in the right direction. But if I remain myself as a body and I execute the limbs of bhakti, remaining in the body basically means I have these 6 qualities, which means I have my body producing desire. I want to fulfill those desires, but also I'm practicing spiritual life.
And spiritual life is giving you certain instructions. You have to do everyday chanting and various other kinds of things, do deity worship. But what you are saying is that your body is producing desires, and then your Guruji is telling you, giving you some instructions to do something which are not connected, that is not the desire of the body. So that is what is natural for the body is desire. This is not natural. So what is happening if you are trying to do something unnatural?
So this creates the how do you call it?
Repressive mechanism.
This is becoming a repressive mechanism. That means I have desires, but I repress them in order to execute my role as a bhakta, as a devotee.
Yeah.
But desires are produced, so I suppressing them, and this creates become
anger. This becomes frustration and krodha.
This creates krodha, I mean anger, and consequently I start to exhibit this anger. I start to scream on people around me, on family members.
And you start fulfilling your desires anyway, forcibly. About this phenomenon, what happens if you identify with the body and then give up sense pleasure because of the Shastric injunctions. In Bhagavad Gita there is a verse.
In Bhagavad Gita there is a verse which says Vishaya vinivartate Niraharasya dehinam rasovarjam rasopyasyam param
drishtva nivartate. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So what is happening in this?
In this it is said exactly this what we'll describe. So if you have desires and you renounce those desires, but in the same time you remain in the body, you suppress your desires, you will become...
Your taste for the object is not going away.
Your taste for the object is...
You are giving up sense pleasure, but the taste still remains. And it is frustrating for you, right? And when will the taste go away?
Param drishta nivartana. When I develop this higher taste, the lower taste will automatically withdraw.
Yeah, so how will you relish this higher taste? By reconstituting yourself as the Atma. When you identify yourself as the Atma, because nature of the Atma is love, so when we practice love, which is the nature of the Atma, then we have discussed in the last class how by doing Artha Bhavana you can relish ras, you cultivate love and you relish ras. So when you relish this ras, this is param, relish the love of the Lord, then what happens is that the taste for that goes away, because your identity with the Atma is reinforced. You are realizing yourself as the Atma and you are developing love for the Lord, and that is reducing. That is happening by reducing your identity with the body. The more you experience love, the more your identity as Atma increases, and the more this increases, the more that decreases. So when the identification with the body decreases, automatically the kama which is connected to the body, which is related to the body, also decreases, which means you develop vairagya, natural distaste for the sense objects. Swabhavika
Aruchi.
Aruchi, very good. Aruchi means tastelessness. So to summarize, if we identify ourselves with the body and then do the angas of bhakti, it is becoming a repressive mechanism. We are artificially giving up the sense objects, but the taste is remaining, and that is frustrating us and developing anger in us. So we do all sinful activities. In fact, people do more sinful activities. You will see that the devotees are doing more sinful activities than the ordinary people, because they are repressing. Others are in others desires are produced and they are fulfilling it, so it's not repressing them. In this case, because of this repressive mechanism, they are doing more sinful activities. Can you quote from Bhagavad Gita where this is said? Athakena you might not know this, I will tell them. Athakena, Arjuna, when Sri Krishna is explaining all these things, so Arjuna asks Sri Krishna, Athakena prayuktoyam papam chariti purushaha anichannapi varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. Arjuna asks Sri Krishna, hey Krishna, in spite of knowing that this is a sinful activity, why people get engaged in that activity as if somebody is forcing them? So then Sri Krishna answers, Kama esha
krodha esha rajyo guna samudbhavaha mahashana mahapatma vidyenam iha vairinam.
So Arjuna, people engaged in this sinful activities because of kama and krodha. Kama and krodha is forcing them to do all these sinful activities. So this is seen in people who take shelter of a guru and then want to cultivate love also. And instead of experiencing divine bliss, whose nature is, what is the nature according to Narada Bhakti Sutra? Gunarahitam?
Gunarahitam, kamanarahitam. Pratikshanam pravartamanam tailadhara vichinna.
Okay, tailadharavada vichinna. So it is gunarahitam, kamanarahitam, that when you practice bhakti, this bhakti is free from any desire. The only desire that you have is to please your Lord, and if He is pleased, your beloved is pleased, you become happy. This should be your nature, not your personal desire. You become absolutely free from any personal desire in bhakti. And secondly, it is tailadharavada vicchinnam, means that it is like when you pour the oil, actually drops of oil are falling, but then you don't see those drops, you see a continuous stream of oil. So similarly, when you practice bhakti, it should be a continuous practice. It's not that you practice bhakti for some time and then sometime you are engaged in sense gratification, again you do bhakti. It won't happen like that. Because when you take shelter of a Rasik Guru and then learn this art of doing Rasopasana, which is the cultivation of love, you do Artha Bhavana, and when you do Artha Bhavana with your Buddhi, extracting the meanings of love, that will get converted into prema, which we discussed in the last Chintana class. And this prema produces greed in you, that once you release, let's say, a little amount of prema, that will make you to crave for more prema. And this craving is called as laulyam, which will make you to practice bhakti more intensely. And then you do more kirtan, you do more Artha Bhavana, which gets cultivated into a higher degree of love. So it's a continuous process, it's a continuous stream without any breaks, this bhakti, and then it is every second it is increasing, right? Your relish of love is keeping on increasing because it is producing. After the experience of every ounce of prema, you develop laulyam, which becomes a motivating force for you to continue your bhakti. And you will never fall back into sense gratification again, because you are becoming free from desires. So you see, instead of experiencing ever increasing divine love and becoming free from all these sensual desires, we see devotees, in spite of practicing for years together, they still get engaged in sinful activities. So why is this happening? This is happening because they are practicing bhakti,
remaining in the body
without reconstituting themselves as Atma or a Dasa or Parikara. So can you give some examples from your own life or from others, so that the audience will understand that devotees are practicing bhakti for years together, but they are still engaged in kama?
Yeah, the more near example is me, my own self, who after so many years of practice of sadhana, very strictly, I got into frustration, because, as it was said before, I remained in the body, and my body and mind, the desires are produced. So somehow I renounce or suppress these desires, and because they are not fulfilled, they are creating anger with me. And because other people around me, they are not doing same as I am doing, I become angry at them, because I expect that everybody should be so austere as I am. So I developed this is mada.
Pride. You develop a pride that I am a devotee.
I am so elevated, I'm so developed in my spiritual practice. But internally, I was actually isolated, alone, because anyone else was not on my level. So this created in me the great frustration. So in that mood, I was actually praying for the Lord to give me the guidance and inspiration. First of all, to let me know what I'm doing wrong. So in our meeting with Acharya ji, that was the first striking point, reconstitution. And the most important point, actually, the starting and most important point. If there is no reconstitution, just like in mathematics, if we have wrong formula and we are exercising, doing so many things, but end is just opposite, so that means we make somewhere big mistake. So this is just like, adding 1,000 zeros, but there is no one. So one means reconstitution. Reconstitution, this is the beginning, and the rest of that is just following. And there are also other examples which I was able to see in other devotees, which develop in different ways. To somebody, some of the devotees fall into depression, some start taking drugs, some committed suicide, and some practice some other things, alternative things. So this is I think, big issue which this discussion can help many devotees who are in a similar situation as I am. So therefore this reconstitution is the crucial point in spiritual practice.
And this happens only with the association of a rasic devotee, right? If the Guru himself is has not reconstituted himself and has not realized the love, divine love for the Sri Krishna, how can he provide an example for his disciple? He himself is in Maya. Guru himself is in Maya. He is in Maya means what? That he has not reconstituted himself. He is not experiencing love, this ever increasing love. He should be, if a guru is experiencing love, and it should be ever increasing and it should be totally engrossed in that. So he becomes an example for us when we see him, playing the role of a devotee, living the role of a devotee, and then we take that example and we also start practicing. So this is also happening. This problem of not reconstituting oneself as Atma is also happening because these disciples are not able to find a proper guru, who is a Rasik guru, who is totally engrossed in the love of Sri Krishna. So that is why these results are not coming. So we will end this discussion here about the significance of the reconstitution of self as the first step in the movement of Bhakti. And then in the next session we will discuss what happens after reconstitution of the self, what are the various things that you should do, or this reconstitution will lead. We'll do some kirtan and wind up. Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe
लाडले लाल की